Hey guys, Yo here from Canine Learning Academy, and I am live streaming into the community. I wanted to jump in. I just finished working with some of the school dogs on their enrichment project of the day, and I wanted to jump in and provide you guys with some information, a trainer's tip on the challenge that I have kind of given to our students this month. And I thought I'd just go ahead and reach out to anyone in our community and have you join our big, huge challenge for the month. So this month is a month where we encourage everyone to begin or to continue to train your dog. And so one of the things that we're asking our pet parents to do is to use an enrichment object that we're going to give you. I'm going to tell you about it in just a second. And I've got some videos to share. So this is going to be really quick. This is just a little tip to encourage you to practice, to encourage you to continue to be motivated to work with your dogs. I know that it sometimes can be really challenging, especially if you're working on one specific thing. So enrichment is our challenge of the month, and specifically an enrichment with a cardboard box. Fairly simple, but you can make it as easy or as hard as you want. And what I would love to see is a lot of pet parents showing different ways, the variety of ways that you can create an enrichment using a box. And I will show you some videos in a second. But when I say the word enrichment in the dog training world, it actually refers to practicing the practice of providing your dog with a stimulation and engaging activity so that you can enhance their life. Because for some dogs, majority of dogs, it can be kind of boring sometimes, just kind of watching, especially if you work all day. There's kind of watching, hanging out, waiting for that moment that you give them attention. So enrichment activities are designed to fulfill a pet like physical, mental, and just give them like a reason, other than waiting for you to give them attention, and give them some of their emotional needs, and promoting a little more of a happier and healthier lifestyle for a dog. We like to do things different all the time for our dogs, just to continue building their confidence, helping them just problem solve. We do have a lot of pet parents that we work with their dogs, and they're looking for a dog that can be really well mannered in public. So when we can't really train a dog to, like, have everything that the environment is going to give them, but what we can do is provide them with different opportunities and different things all the time in which they can go, oh wow, okay, that's a new thing, I haven't seen that before. And they can either, we would want our dogs to be a little curious about it versus like, oh my gosh, it's scary, I haven't seen that before. So enrichment gives you the opportunity to continue to just provide something new all the time. Because it can be boring to eat out of the same bowl over and over. And that's why we've always talked about ditching the bowl and creating an enrichment opportunity for your dogs. Enrichment can be puzzles, it can be games, it can be novel experiences, interactive toys. So yesterday I posted on Instagram about providing just a different location. So I went on a different location, and obviously there's new smells and there's new people, and I was overlooking the ocean. It was absolutely gorgeous. By the way, if you are watching this live and you do comment, I can see your comments. If you've got a question, feel free to ask as I am going through I wanted to share with you guys a challenge for the month. So now that I've kind of talked about what enrichment is and why it's important, the biggest thing that I've seen lately, and especially when I get a call about a pet parent that's got a dog struggling with reactivity, I'll normally ask, what does it look like in your dog's daily life? And that enrichment, if they're not giving their dog enough mental stimulation, or if they've got a dog that's really active and then they're just, you can't keep up with a really active Aussie or border collie. You just can't. There's just absolutely no way to exercise the way that they can exercise. Mental stimulation, you can definitely do. So when I get a call like that, I'll find out exactly what they're doing to provide, their dog's resources, but then like how much they're giving them and how often it changes. Oftentimes, just adding a little change in the way that they're eating and giving them puzzles and giving them new opportunities can really make a difference in the dog's reactivity. So sometimes dogs just act out because they're bored. I know that my dad, if he's watching, his dog will sometimes get bored and she'll hang out on the stairs and like look for opportunities to like see what's out there. So she gets to practice that. Oh my God, there's something out there. Bark, 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 bark. So if you provide some mental stimulations, you should notice a little difference in how often they overreact or the intensity or their ability to recover. So today I'm just going to go over some ideas, but what I would love to see, I mean, obviously we do this all the time, but I don't get to record a lot of this stuff. So I'd like to see what everyone else is doing for enrichment. I want to give you an idea. I want to give you a challenge to focus on all of January. So you've got the rest of the month. I'll provide I think what I'm going to do is sort of provide some, gift certificates that go into the group, like certificates like, wow, you did it. I'd love just the comments of going back and forth. And again, you're providing ideas and motivation for everyone else in our community. So let me go over the first one is just a box enrichment. So we're going to use a cardboard box this month. And it can be something like a shoe box, a cereal box, an Amazon box, small box, big, huge, massive box. You can take a box and do something with the box that provides your dog any kind of outlet. So it could be running through the box. It could be eating through the box. It could be digging through the box. In a video that I'm going to show you in a second, I used a coffee box, which is kind of like, I don't have cereal, so I had coffee boxes. They've got flaps on it. If your dog's brand new to this and maybe you have a brand new puppy, then you might want to provide a smaller box, something that's not so intimidating. I even have a client who's got it's a golden who's afraid of Amazon boxes. So that dog had missed that stage in their life where they got to have a positive experience with box, or maybe the box, tipped over at one time. So if you've got a dog that's afraid of a box, then the way that you handle this will be a lot different than a dog that's like, what's that? Is that another box? So totally, each person's going to be different. And if you've got a question about how do I, please ask. Wherever you're watching this, go ahead and ask. So those are the different types of boxes. When you are bringing a box into your area for the very first time, you're going to watch for stress signals and things like that. I like to start with an easy one first, and then you can progress harder and harder, because a lot of times if a dog feels like it's too hard, then they're going to be like, okay, I'm never going to do that again. So the idea is kind of like teaching a child, is to start off with something very simple. It could be a box that's completely flat. So you're asking the dog to maybe sniff the box or walk over the box. What you do with the box or what your dog does, let it be up to them. So provide the resource of here it is, back away from them, and then go and check out, just watch, observe what they do. Obviously, videotape it so you can put it into the group. But I'm going to encourage you guys to use a cardboard box this month. All right. You can add variety to the box by using paper, shredded paper one time, or maybe putting something directly on the box to get your dog to actually engage with the box itself. I've got a couple dogs that will tear the box. They're not eating it, so you are watching, but they're shredding the box. So you got a lot of terriers that want to like shred and tear things apart. So in one of the videos, I have a dog that I think I just have Bentley in this one, but I basically put paper in there. There's newspaper in there. And then I have another one where we're doing some digging. And then I use some smaller boxes. So like problem solving skills. So if you're training a dog to be a working dog in the service dog program, then you're going to want your dog to be able to figure things out, right? So you're creating puzzles that help figure things out. If you've got a dog that lacks confidence, then you're going to want to start off really easy. And for their experience, that dog's experience, you're going to want them to actually solve the problem. And then next time, you'll make it a little bit harder, like very tiny bit harder. Also, the surface that you use, that you put your box in, make sure it's a surface that they're comfortable being on and that the box doesn't just like slide all over the place. More confident dog, you could put it on a floor that's a little bit slippery, so they're moving the box with their nose. I've got one dog that did that, but you'll notice in my video, I use either my rubber mat or the grass. Let's see. Supplies, just whatever you have in the house. So whatever you've got in the house, try it. My goal is that you do it at least one time this month, but if possible, maybe you do it a few times this month and change it up each time. You can take the same cardboard box and do something different with it. You could, even if you've got a small dog or a massive box, you can make it all open and see if your dog will run through it. So here's our challenge. It's just using a cardboard box this month, adding variety to it, having some fun, giving your dog an opportunity to try something different each time. So let me play a video. Let me share the screen. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I'm going to play a video. So the first one is this creating a box with shredded paper. So this was an Amazon box. And we took some of the papers that came in the mail and crumbled them up. Of course, not all dogs can do this. Some dogs will eat the paper. Then we provided a high-grade kibble inside to give them something crunchy, but you can provide your dog's meal. You can use treats. You can even put interactive feeders in there. And then we sprinkled it on top. Now, Bentley is really good at this, but he still enjoys it. At almost 10 years old this year, he absolutely loves going into finding his food. So it helps to create that ability for him to use his nose. It gives him an opportunity to just see something new. Even if he's done it before, give it a try. So you can make this easier or harder by this, where you put the box, how you put the box. So maybe you decide that you're going to make it a little bit more challenging because your dog has done it a few times. You can close the flaps where they have to open up the box with their head or their nose or their paw, or some dogs will take it with their teeth and shake it and everything comes out. But whatever that is, just give them that opportunity and see what happens. So I made that box fairly easy, but I wanted to just show like one way to do it. In this next video, again, if you have any questions, drop them in. In this next video, created a dig box. So let me go ahead and play that portion. So the dig box here, we used these balls that I have here. And I like to take the flaps and close them up completely to make a regular size, like a swimming pool, like a kid's little swimming pool. So this was a big box. I put in just a few balls at first, and then I was like, oh, what the heck. But the dogs that I have here are pretty good at this. So then I placed the food inside the box with the balls there. And then I placed the box down in the middle of a room and I let the dogs explore. I like to mix things up here. Now, if your dog's never been in a box before, this one's a little more challenging because it's not just the box, it's also having to find, the food that's around the balls. So Bandit had a little hard time getting in the box. So I ended up having her cut the side of the box. But once he was in, he doesn't mind his paws on uneven surfaces. And he, in fact, you can tell really got into it. So here I had Reese go ahead and cut the box to make it a little bit easier. So you can change the shape of your current box, right? to make it easier. You can show them how to get in. But once they get going, I really recommend stepping back and letting your dog explore and figure things out. Now, this dog, Pippa, oh my gosh, she just went gung-ho into the box, and she loves, loves, loves food. So she realized what we were doing, and then just like, went and jumped in. Okay, so that is your dig box. The other one I have here is, the first one was like a busy box. This next one, the way that we put together these little boxes was to create more of a problem solving box opportunity enrichment. So let me go ahead and play this one. So on this example, we used these little coffee boxes that are pretty small. So if you think about, like, if you were training a dog to muzzle training a dog, we like to get that dog's nose into things, right? Or if your dog's getting spayed or neutered soon and they're going to be using a cone, we want them to get kind of used to putting their head in something. So I like to find little boxes where they're having to try to put their nose in something that might kind of touch their face or their head, right? Some dogs are really scared, or they're not feeling comfortable around things around their face. So providing some opportunities for them to go, okay, well, that wasn't that bad, So you're going to be cautious. If you've got a dog that's afraid like that, then you're going to want to make sure that your box doesn't just kind of move around, that you're able to put it someplace and put it solid. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. Okay. So here we have her putting some kibble inside. And then for that one, we left the flap open. So then we created another one, and we slightly closed it, but not completely. And then the third one, we sealed it completely. So that is one way to make the same box a little more challenging. Another thing to do is to layer your enrichment opportunities. So we put a stuffed Kong, we put a West Paw, and then we put those into the room and see if the dog can figure out how to actually open. Again, rubber floor, slippery floor, each type of floor is going to make a difference. So here he opened it using his nose, and then he kind of needs to figure out how to get that out of there. So he could use his teeth. There he uses his paw. This is my dog, Bentley. And typically we want to take off all of their equipment, collar, their harnesses and things like that. But I had just got done taking him for a walk. So here he's trying to get that puzzle out so he can smash it. He can use his teeth. There he knocked it all the way over. And then the whatever it's called, knocked over as well. So then he went on to go play with the Kong. Then he went to go see what else we have there, right? So multiple boxes, one box used a lot of different ways. You can layer it. You can make it easy. You can make it more challenging. You can make it a setup where you've got different kinds of foods and different levels. You could put a whole bunch of things out there and then put a box. Totally up to you. Add variety for sure. And let's see what you can come up with. So whoever has the most interesting, or I haven't seen it before, I'm definitely going to call you out. If I notice your dog having a lot of fun, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to be giving you lots of praise. So this is an opportunity for you to not only do this for your own dog, but I would love to see us practicing enrichment as our standard with our dogs, like an everyday thing. If you have a calendar, maybe you're doing it 20 out of 30 days and you're changing it up. Let's make our dogs' lives like a little more interesting. Add variety. My goal for our community is that we get some creative ideas. I mean, there's lots of Facebook groups that have tons of ideas, but they typically, they bounce around from buying something that you buy at the store to, something they have at the house. So we're going to just focus on one thing all month long, and each month it's going to change. I have been creating other kind of enrichments for our school dogs. So we have lots of different dogs of different ages, having a variety of enrichment. So we have opportunities to share videos with you and show you what each kind of dog does and what their body language looks like when they're afraid of something, or when they're going, well, this is really cool. What else you got? So I have been thinking about, how do I make this even more challenging for some of the dogs that are just like powering through it? So then I thought, well, let me ask you guys, because I'm sure with a good challenge, we can have some pretty good ideas. All right, guys. So that is this month's challenge, using a box. I'm Yora Medeiros again from Canine Learning Academy. I appreciate you jumping in, and I'd love to see some videos that you can create. We're going to be sharing this in our Trainers Tip group. It's a free community on Facebook. If you're not quite sure, you're going to look for the links. If you're watching this on YouTube, take a look at the link and you can join that group. It's a totally free group. All right, guys, that's it for now.